Hi, everybody. This is author Wendy Walker, and I'm here with my co-host, Lynn Constantine of the Liv Constantine Writing Duo, and this is Book Brag. This week, we have author Taylor Adams. Taylor is the author of the novel No Exit. He graduated from Eastern Washington University, where he won the prestigious Edmund G. Yarwood Award. He is an avid fan of suspense in both fiction and film, and his latest novel, Hairpin Bridge, is out today.
Hi, Taylor. So nice to have you here. To get started, would you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. So Hairpin Bridge is about a young woman determined to prove that her twin sister's suicide was actually a murder by confronting the man that she believes is responsible herself. And that man is the cop who allegedly found her sister's body under a derelict bridge way out in Montana. And the official story is that, her sister jumped. But Lena, the protagonist, she doesn't buy that. And she arranges a meeting with the cop on that same isolated bridge. And as her questions become more pointed, her sister Cambry's final hours come into focus. And it's kind of a mystery thriller point of view.
So where did this idea come from?
It's kind of like, I think a lot of the premises that I end up like writing, they're usually like, they kind of get assembled piecemeal. Like I knew for a long time that I really, really wanted to write a story about somebody trying to solve a family member's murder. And that's been done a lot. So it was like, I need to find a good way into that. And then I really like that device that's in a lot of books and movies where somebody's trying to solve a mystery and there's a parallel story of that being reconstructed, and we're learning at the same time as the hero does. And I thought twins were an interesting kind of entry point into that. And I also really just thought it would be an interesting story to have a cop who might be an antagonist. And I also thought bridges are cool, so they all kind of like came.
That's great. So what is one thing you learned while you were writing this book?
Oh man, it's hard to narrow it down to just one thing because I feel like I learn so much from everything I write and then I end up forgetting it. But I think with Hairpin, I learned to be more confident with kind of telling a story in an unconventional way because there's a lot of threads with it and there's a lot of different points of view and different jumping. So the dual protagonist thing is just kind of the start, and there's even a bit of an unreliable narrator mixed in. So there's a lot going on, and I was really nervous about trying it, and I just kind of tried it anyways, and I'm glad I did. And so I think being a little more confident was one thing. I also learned way too much about bridges, way too much about gun malfunctions because I needed a gun to malfunction in a very specific way, and so I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I hope I got it right.
So we call it Book Brag because we like to give authors the opportunity to read their greatest review and to brag about their book. So do you have something you can share with us?
Yeah, so Publishers Weekly gave Hairpin a starred review last month, which was super exciting. They called it a dazzling thriller. They said it was, I think the narratives were skillfully entwined, and I think my favorite line was, Adams is a writer to watch, which was really cool.
So great. Oh,
very, very nice. Okay, so if you had to live in the world of your book and choose a character to be, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that is a good question. Without going into spoilers, like there are very few characters. So I think the only real good answer I could give would be Lena, who is the protagonist, the surviving twin. There's only 4 characters in the whole book. Which ones aren't, you definitely don't want to be.
You don't want to be the dead one, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be a dead one or an evil one. So yeah, that narrows it down pretty nicely.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we're going to move into the lightning round now, where we just ask some questions for readers to get to know you a little bit better. And the first question is, are you a pantser or a plotter?
Ooh, definitely plotter. However, I think I've gotten a little better lately the last few years at learning to, like I'll outline like really meticulously, and I'll usually outline for a few weeks before I start a draft, and then I'll write a draft. But while I'm writing the draft, I try to give myself leeway to, just kind of write with your gut a little bit and try investigating, veering into a new direction. And worst case scenario, it's like, okay, I wasted a few days. I'll just, scrap that. But best case scenario, like, I think that's the real strength of the pantser approach, because you can be really instinctive and you can find really cool things that just don't jump out at you when you've got the plot all, kind of set on an outline. But between the two, definitely a plot. I outline a lot.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Definitely introvert.
Where is your favorite place to write?
Definitely like at home on a couch. I like to like have my feet up. For some reason, I don't like writing on a desk. I like to like write in like a fully relaxed position, and with like a gallon of coffee. I drink so much coffee.
Oh my God, I do the same thing. I have to be reclining and I have to have my coffee. It's like you're pretending you're not working.
Okay, so do you have a favorite word?
I like harrowing. I think harrowing.
Harrowing, yes. Yeah. That's a good word for a thriller writer.
Yeah.
What are you currently binge watching?
Ooh, Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah.
I think we watched that in like 2 days.
Do you have a most embarrassing moment you want to tell us about?
Recently, I had a reader inform me that I used the term concrete and cement interchangeably. And I guess I had thought they were the same thing, and apparently they were the same thing.
Oh, wow.
And that, it's too late to fix that.
What would be your dream vacation?
I've never been to Iceland, but I've always thought Iceland looked so cool. And someday I want to go to Iceland. And now that it feels like, things are on the way back to normal, I'm hoping, in the next year or two. I think Iceland would be my dream vacation.
Is there a book that you read in one night?
I came really close last night with Survivor's Song by Paul Tremblay. I'm like 20 pages from the end. I don't know how much. I read almost the entire thing last night, and it's a twist on the zombie formula, kind of that the fear of like loss of self, which is such a terrifying idea that I've never really seen explored the way it has been here, and it's so good.
And is there a book that you wish you had written yourself?
Definitely. One of the first books, like first real thrillers I ever read, and I was definitely way too young to read this book, was Intensity by Dean Koontz.
Oh, I love that book. Yes. All his books I love.
I love that book. That is just my easy go-to answer for like all-time favorite books.
If you had to be something other than a writer, what would it be?
Ooh, I studied film when I was in school, and so I've always, I like film as well. So I guess I would say maybe like a film editor. I've always thought editing was just a really neat trade, neat occupation, just kind of a neat art. And it's I guess I know they call it the invisible art because it's invisible when it's done right, and then it's very visible when it doesn't serve the film or the story. So yeah, I would say, or a book editor.
And finally, what fictional character would you love to have dinner with?
I don't remember the name of the main character, but the main character from Andy Weir's The Martian. I really, and this is something that I think kind of I channel into my own writing too. I really like when a main character is, just perseveres when it looks hopeless. He's explaining at the end, and he says, when it looks hopeless, just keep your head down, solve a problem, solve the next problem, solve the problem after that, and if you solve enough problems by the time is up, you get to go home. And I thought that was just such an elegant, like plain spoken way to just describe working yourself out of a problem. And I always kind of remember that too when writing a book, because like, the whole like middle months for me are always just, an exhausting one problem after another, and it's easy to lose hope.
Well, that wraps us up for today. So Hairpin Bridge is now out. Everybody should run out and get it or order it everywhere books are sold. And Taylor, can you just let readers know where they can connect with you online?
Yes. My Facebook is Taylor Adams Author. My official author Twitter is @TAdamsAuthor. My Instagram is taylor.adams.author, noticing a trend. And my website is tayloradamsauthor.com.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.